Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to Rants and Reels. I'm Kyle. I'm on my way to go see a movie. I'm going to go see... I'm going to see The Sun. That's what I'm going to see. I'm going to see Game Night. Woo! It's a comedy, so let's hope it's funny. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, just got out of watching Game Night. I was pleasantly surprised. I guess that's the best way to put it. I was not disappointed. So we got a February comedy that was actually funny. So objective number 1 achieved. Right now it's cold right now. I'm gonna start driving. When things warm up, I'll be right back.
We're down to 2 teams, so for double points, what is the name of the purple Teletubby?
Tinky Winky.
You're both correct.
He always carried a...
Red purse.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now.
Max is very competitive, as am I. It's one of the reasons I fell in love with him.
Oh, it's easy. He was Incredible Hulk.
Eric Bana.
Other one.
Mark Ruffalo.
Other one.
Lou Ferrigno.
Primal Fear.
Richard Gere never played the Incredible Hulk. Time.
Jesus Christ. Ed Norton.
Oh, Primal Fear.
Guys, what do you say we do this at my house next week?
This will be a game night to remember.
Oh, boy.
Tonight, we're taking game night up a notch. We don't need a board, and we do not need pieces.
We won't need any extra rudeness either.
Someone in this room is going to be taken.
Oh, it's a murder mystery party.
Fun! Whoever finds the victim wins the grand prize, the keys to the Stingray.
Just the keys?
No, Ryan, the whole car.
Oh, yes! I just want to wish you the best of luck tonight.
Bye.
Baby, hand me those matches. I'm about to burn this door down.
You're gonna light a fire in a windowless room that we're trapped in.
Why you gotta make my idea sound stupid?
You're not gonna know what's real and what's fake.
Is this gun real?
Oh, no, Annie.
Oh, no. Oh my God, I shot you!
What the?
I've always enjoyed the camaraderie of good friends. It's often we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone.
Oh, because your wife left you.
So take a little bath. Oh, it's so much worse. Okay. I have one idea. It's so crazy, it just might work.
You're gonna crash the car into the plane like Liam Neeson in Taken 3?
He did that in Taken 3, huh?
You missed it.
Thanks, baby.
This is instructions on how to remove a bullet. It didn't have rubbing alcohol, so I got you this lovely shard.
Good idea. Way to pivot. What is helpful in country living?
Oh, that's for later. There's a corn chowder recipe. It looks really good. You love corn
Sweet,
chowder,
I do.
huh?
Yeah.
Let's cheer you
Thank
up.
you.
Alright. Car's warmed up, so I can speak freely now. Game Night. It's uncommon for a February comedy, that is a comedy that is released in February, to actually be funny. Odd as that may sound, most of these comedies that drop around this time of year are not they're not the pinnacle of comedic ingenuity. There's nothing clever or original, but Game Night was clever, and there was some ingenuity going on there. Now, it might not be entirely original. I'm sure there was something. There were elements of other movies or stories in there. Can't put my finger on them, but the premise, the basic premise is that, there's a group of friends that get together for regular game nights, and this one, they are going to do a staged murder mystery kidnapping, treasure hunt scavenger game type thing, and it turns into an actual kidnapping, almost murder mystery chase type of thing. The comedy is pretty situational. They don't. It's not gross out crude comedy for the most part. There is some of that, but you gotta have you've gotta have a range of jokes to really sell it. You gotta have the low hanging fruit, easy sex joke, and then you've gotta have something a little more nuanced in there. A lot of pop culture references thrown in, but they're not really current references. So I don't think this is gonna suffer aging out very well. If anything, it's gonna hit some stumbling blocks with some audiences that they're not fully familiar with all of the references, which is gonna be sad, because then you'll miss out on some pretty funny jokes. What else can I say about this? The filming, the style of film that these two directors, whose names are escaping me at the moment. It's okay. I'm gonna fill all those details in when I do a full review, which will be down in the comments. So these two directors, they did stretch and develop a very unique look to the film. It's not one that I recall ever really seeing utilized, and they did it very well. They used some tilt focus filming, and that's when you adjust the lens either on camera. You can do it After Effects. They probably did it After Effects because it's easier to do that way. But that's when you film something and it makes it look like a model, and it's a really cool effect. It's a really cool optical illusion, and it was cool to see somebody actually utilize that in a film the way they did. They really played off the idea of the game feel, like the board game feel. They would have scene transitions where they would use that visual effect, so it looks like you're, panning over a game board. That was cool. That was very fun to see. It was a nice way to break things up visually between transitions, which can be really hard to do in a comedy, because you're either jumping from point to point, and if there's nothing to break it up, it's a little jarring. It's like jerking somebody, jerking somebody back and forth. The cast played really well off of each other with this material. I went in with my expectations were pretty low. This screenwriter, again, whose name is not in my head at the moment, he has not done much. I'm sure he's written a bunch, but we haven't seen very much from him. I think he did a recent Herbie, like the Love Bug with Lindsay Lohan a couple years ago. He said he wrote that. Like the Country Bear Jamboree movie, he wrote that. These directors, like the only really big thing they've done was the recent Lampoon's Vacation reboot sequel, which wasn't terribly good at all. It was kind of awful, but so, you know, no and low expectations there. So I wasn't expecting much, and I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it. There were a lot of good laugh points, a lot of good moments where there were, good, hearty belly laughs from the audience. It's always nice when a film can make a room that's, a quarter full of, cynical, hardened, jaded film critics laugh. I mean, genuinely laugh. A little bit. We don't laugh much. And we had it was good. The film had they had great restraint. They did not break out any crass, crude humor. They didn't go for any of the really easy jokes right up front. They built things up quite a bit. They did rely on classic comedy, or at least modern classic comedy character tropes. You've got token individuals. You've got the stupid guy, the uptight guy, the token black couple. You've got the weird guy. Basic tropes. So the characters were not incredibly deep, but it's a comedy. You don't need incredibly deep characters, just like you don't need an incredibly deep plot. There were issues with the plot. If you really want to, get in there and tear it apart, a lot of things that didn't really add up. Things that you would only notice when you sit down after the fact and you try to replay the movie in your head, and the series of events don't quite meet up. But it's okay. You give it some slack because, hey, it's a comedy, and don't take it so seriously. So I'm not going to take it so seriously. I'm just going to say it was funny. Funnier than I expected, more enjoyable than expected. I will probably watch this again at some point, maybe 2 or 3 times, depending on the mood. If the mood strikes. But there it is. It's an enjoyable movie. Not the best, but hell, I've seen a lot worse. So it was actually funny when it was supposed to be funny, and they did nail a lot of things. And I'll give you something better in the written review, which you'll find down in the video description, and I'm gonna call it there. Thanks for riding along. Go see Game Night if you want a good comedy. A good laugh. We all need them. And thanks for writing, and have a good night, everybody.